Hi, economics class. This is Dr. Seibert checking in, probably for the last time. Just want to let you know that your final, I'll open that up this weekend, and it's due Saturday the 12th. So keep that in mind, Saturday the 12th instead of Sunday, so I can get your grades in. So on these last couple chapters, it's kind of interesting. I think they all are, but I always say that. But we're talking about comparative advantage and the open economy and also exchange rates. So right now, we don't really have much of an economy. Well, it's increasing, let's put it that way, because of the pandemic. So I'm going to go back to before the pandemic a little bit. We were trying to have a comparative advantage against China. We didn't. And that's why everything was shipped to China to make. So it'll be interesting in the new administration to see if this holds true, that everything will be back to China being made, or if we will try to get more companies to come back from China. Now, the reason many companies left was because of a comparative advantage. If you go to China, you're going to pay a lot less for your workforce. Is that right? Well, I don't know. You're a worker here in the United States. Do you think that's right? It's really not. They should probably have to be penalized in some way, but they haven't figured that out yet. So I don't know what the answer really is. But it will be interesting to see what the new administration does in those kinds of things. So we do want to keep a comparative advantage, particularly against China, because that's probably our number one competitor. And one of the things your book talks about is the trade organizations. Well, the trade organizations, the global ones, give China a bit of a free ride. They treat them as if they're an emerging economy, when really they are already past that. They are a full-fledged economy, gone manufacturing into technology. So they're probably comparative where we're at, really, maybe more in money, but they're treated differently in the world organizations. So that's something that should change. I don't know if it will, but that's definitely something that, so let's just say you're India. Is India emerging? Definitely. They are trying to emerge. They're way behind China. So they definitely deserve lower interest rates or loans and things like that. So we need to, as a global economy, make sure that the money is going to places that does need it. Because, I harp on China a lot, but China doesn't need it. Other economies that are trying to emerge do need it. When I was doing my dissertation, I actually read about restaurants opening in Mongolia, which I thought, what? I don't even know where Mongolia is, which I did, but who would have thought restaurants in Mongolia? But there's so many emerging economies that we don't even think about. Maybe they deserve that money and not China, or really, maybe some of the other countries like us. We don't need it. Maybe we do now, but not, normally we don't. So the global economy needs to look at these things and be a little more careful about their policies and positions. And then exchange rates and the balance of payments. That's something right now that is very off balance, because, to tell you the truth, it looks like China has kind of all the playing cards. And if we have all of our economy basically being made by China, we're kind of at their mercy. Now, do we like our cheap TVs? Yeah, I bought one. So, that's something we're going to have to deal with. Do we bring them back here and have somebody make them, and we can still be comparative advantage, cheaper, that kind of thing? Probably. We can probably add jobs and things like that. We're just going to have to redo it a little bit and rethink it a little bit. But I still think we could. And so our chapters are ending with more global issues. United States, when I grew up, there just wasn't anybody in comparison. Kind of Russia, but that was more like a military thing. But China is an economic power, and so we're going to have to. Every country needs to be careful about that, and particularly with this pandemic that looks like was started there. I always thought if something was going to bring us down, it'd be some kind of a biochem warfare. And I'm not saying that this is it, but boy, this, we got to make sure these things don't happen out in other countries. And I don't know what the answer is, but think about that on an economic basis. This has brought everybody to a standstill. So everybody's economy is basically stopped. And how do we get everything started again? I mean, this is a great probably time to be an economist, because everybody needs help. They need help getting out of all this. We haven't gone through it before. So, if you're thinking on those terms, I wish I'd have done that, taken more economy classes when I was in college the first time, because I could see myself doing more of that right now. So anyway, I hope, when I took economics in my undergraduate years, I really didn't learn a lot because the teachers didn't really apply it to real life, what was going on. So I hope that in this 15 weeks, going to be 16 weeks with your final, I hope that you found concepts that you can apply to our economy or other economies and say, why is it this way? Why is it that way? What happens if we pay more things? Let's just have an example here. What happens if President-elect Biden says we're going to just dismiss $10,000 for everybody in their, in their college tuition, what they've racked up in debt? Where does that come from? We have to cut programs or raise taxes. So logic says raise taxes. You guys are going to be starting jobs, maybe your careers after this or in a couple of years. Is that what you want? I wish people would have told me that right off the bat. So I could have thought, oh, okay, I've always voted, but these are things we do vote on. Do we want raised taxes? Maybe, I don't know. But these are things we need to be aware of in the economy, that if we either cut programs or we're going to have to pay for it somehow. This trillions of dollars of debt is going to be you guys', and I really hate to say that, I'm so sorry, but you will be the ones that have to figure out how to get it paid if it gets paid. So that's a big economic topic. I think I've shown you the debt clock ticking away, and it's sad. It's very sad to me. So hopefully one of you guys, like I said, becomes an economist and you solve all these problems. How's that? So it's been a joy and a pleasure talking to you and reading your packbacks. It's been so interesting, the things you guys have to say. And this is the last packback for this week. So keep up with your creative thoughts and thinking outside the box, which sounds like everybody says that, but really, you guys have wonderful ideas, and I have found through teaching, there's a lot of things you guys can solve, and just keep thinking you can, because you can. Anyway, take care.